Hi everyone. I actually painted this on camera, at least the tree part. And then when I went to upload it, for whatever reason, it did not upload. So, I'm gonna take some iridescent paint. I have this iridescent medium. I keep using it for stuff because it is so much fun. And you can take any paint color and it makes it like glittery and iridescent. So, I actually added iridescent to this, which is this exact color with some black and iridescent. And then the brown is just brown and then a little bit of this dark blacky purple color mixed with the light brown to make it more bark-like. So I am gonna throw that down. Okay. So I am gonna just fill in those circles. Okay. Looking for the right paintbrush. Or not necessarily the right paintbrush, a paintbrush that I can use. So I painted them kind of because I was going to show you what the end product would look like without actually doing it because I wanted to wait until this dried. It's not all the way dry, by the way, before I filled in the circles. But then the video didn't work for whatever reason. And it wouldn't upload. And I'm like, I don't know what happened. And so I went back to it in my things and it just wasn't working. And I was like, okay, well, then I am going to paint the circle part for y'all, which is super boring. And yeah. I did use my little compass thing to make these circles. I hate it. There is that. I'm not a fan of my little circly thing, my little compass. I thought it would be great to make circles because I am feeling some circles. But yeah, I don't like it. It slips, it slides, it just doesn't do right, and I end up feeling like it's just not right. Also, I realized that I am just flipping this painting all the way around however I want and however I need for my convenience when painting and not your convenience when viewing. And that's just how it is. Guys. Sometimes I paint off camera and sometimes I twirl it around. This will dry slightly darker because you're seeing the darker paint here. Like I said, it's the same color. I just added some iridescent to it. So I guess that probably would lighten it up a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, like silver glittery. But it's a really pretty shade. I wouldn't mind having some lip gloss this color. Right? Wouldn't that be pretty? I would buy it and then I would never use it. I'd be like, oh wow, that's such a pretty shade. Then put it on and be like, I don't know. I do have one lip gloss that I wear all the time, and I got it, and I can't find it anymore, and I don't like that. I'm gonna have to go online, and I've looked, and I cannot find it. So now I refuse to use it unless I'm going somewhere. Like, I can't just wear my lip gloss around the house anymore because it's going to run out soon. I am obviously painting this to be abstract. It is up. I mean, obviously you don't walk around seeing, you know, purple skies and magenta trees and yeah. Didn't you just say that? No, I don't think I did. But I'm saying it anyway. So it's just like an abstract tree. And I like to rest my hand when I am painting, which is why I really like to let things dry in between, and I don't do them, I don't paint a lot of wet on wet. I don't know if that's the correct term. That's like a watercolor term. But I don't paint like with an easel. And I don't paint the way I should paint. Maybe, I don't know. I got my own little way of doing it. And I'm fine with that because I have said to you guys a zillion times, I am not a real painter. I don't know what I'm doing. This is not a tutorial. This is just me doing whatever I want and torturing you guys by making you watch paint dry. Watching the paint dry. And I am trying to learn stuff as I go. And I think it's okay that I don't know everything. Because if you wait till you know everything to actually do something, you would never do anything. Think about it. I mean, you would just, like, read books and never apply anything. And you'd be absolutely boring as hell. And, yeah. So it's better to, like, do stuff and make mistakes and try things out. Because, I mean, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Oh my goodness. This jigsaw puzzle I made wasn't perfect. And? Oh. I messed up the tree trunk. Oh my God. Nobody cares. I can go back and I can repaint it. It's just paint. It's just paint. It's not even expensive paint. Probably. And in the video that you will never see because my phone decided it was not YouTube worthy or savable worthy because it corrupted the file, I did say that I had painted this a while back, with just like leftover paints from other jigsaw puzzles I was painting. And I couldn't remember if I had actually shown any of this getting painted, this background, but I probably didn't. But who knows? I could have. But I hadn't touched it for months, and I had just let it sat there and in a pile. And so when I went to go and paint it again, I thought I would just make a lollipop tree. I'm really liking lollipop trees and lollipop flowers and circles. And that's why I bought that little circle thing, because I thought, you know, if I'm going to be doing circles, maybe I should buy like a thing to make circles. And don't like it. So there's that. I think I actually like it better just, you know, tracing objects and drawing the circle. Because, yeah, then using like the little compass thing. I saw this really cool thing, and it was like this metal thing, and it had like the circle thing in the middle, and you kind of like dialed it and it like retracted and stuff, and that was kind of cool. I mean, all things considered. And it was like an artist thing, and I thought, wow, that's kind of cool. I would use that. And then thought about buying one. And then thought, because I'd already bought that silly compass thing. I was like, you know what? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to go with not. How's that? I will not buy myself that. Because, I mean, there's a lot of things that would make your life a lot easier, and you don't buy. And I have already bought lots of paint stuff. Paint brushes and paints and cool stuff, and I really enjoy it. But at the same time, for a hobby that is definitely not paying off, I should probably not spend too much. Although I am going to be giving these, at least some of them, to like my sister for her birthday. I was telling her what I was doing, making double-sided jigsaw puzzles, and she just like couldn't get it. And we had this really hilarious conversation because I was explaining to her that I was making jigsaw puzzles. And she always just kind of is like, what are you talking about? And she was like, if you make the jigsaw puzzle, how can you play the jigsaw puzzle? She's like, that doesn't even make any sense. And I was like, well, I mean, yeah, I get that. She's like, but you already know what the picture is. And I'm like, yeah. And we just went back and forth, and she was just like, I am so confused why you would be painting jigsaw puzzles. She's like, that's not a thing. That is definitely not a thing. People don't do that. I always think it's funny when I, do something, and then she's like, people don't do that. She's not a snob. I'm probably making her sound like a snob. She's not at all a snob. She's just different than me. Where I have always been this like weirdo who like, I don't care. I think she has always been more of a, she does care. And I don't mean that in a bad way either. I mean, it in a, she was my older sister. And I think there was some stuff where, you know, like as kids, like it suddenly clicked for her one day that we didn't fit in with the world. Like, there comes a time, I better get that paintbrush out of my mouth. Like, there comes a point in time, I think, like in everybody's life, where they suddenly realize that they're not exactly like everybody else. And I don't, again, I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a, you know, you're grooving along in your childhood, and at some point it becomes abundantly clear that your parent is not as responsible as other people's parents. And you realize that things that you were told or taught or thought were normal are not normal, because people don't act that way. One example of people not acting that way are, I was told as a kid that throwing your trash out of the car in a store parking lot was a perfectly acceptable behavior, because the people who clean the parking lots got jobs from it. In reality, my mom was just a pig and taught us to do that, because otherwise her car would always be really super messy and she was too lazy to clean it. So she told us to just throw the stuff out. So we would literally be in the parking lot of a store and throw out all of our trash. And people would look at us, and my mother didn't care. So we didn't know any better. And it's, yeah, like really horrible that, you know, she trained her children to be litter bugs. But that's what she did. So, when I, you know, I got older and I obviously was not a litter bug. You know, I looked back at that and I was like, oh my gosh, we were just so horrible. But in reality, I mean, we were not horrible kids. We just, you know, you have bad influences. And this is probably all really TMI. But the point is, at some point, my, you know, my dear sister realized that we were not properly conforming to the standards. And I think it really, you know, it bothered her. It bothered both of my sisters, actually. And I think, you know, that's part of why she, you know, has this thing in her head of, you know, trying to behave a certain way that is expected. And when I deviate from it, instead of her thinking it's cute, not cute, she's trying to protect me from being hurt by standing out. Because if you stand out, you'll get hurt. So it's better to fade into the background. I'm not saying it's better to stay in the background. I'm just saying that the life we lived when we were kids, it was always better to fade into the background. So, if you weren't noticed, it was better than if you were. So, I'm just throwing that out there that, you know, I don't believe that. So I think when she sees me doing stuff, she's always seen me doing stuff that maybe like was slightly unconventional or whatever. She'll be like, you know, you really need to protect yourself and not. Oh, what am I doing? I am completely off camera, aren't I? Yes, I am. Okay, so I'm just going through with a toothpick and making some twiggy grass. That's my initials, my real initials. So I do sign all my paintings. Usually I sign them afterwards. But I've been trying to sign my initials on things more now and trying to make them blend in to the painting as part of the painting, because I don't remember where I saw it. Some artist, he tried to always do that. And I thought, you know, that's kind of cool. Because a lot of artists will do their initials and signing and stuff. And it's, yeah. Also, I obviously don't believe I'm a true artist. I'm just a fake artist. And now I'm going through and putting some different color grasses. Because, you know, grass is black and purple, isn't it? In your world? Probably not. Okay, I like it. I think that's done. Let me drop it down. I do have some leftover paint, obviously. This. I'm going to cover it so it doesn't dry out too quickly. Sometimes I add water to them so they don't dry out. And then, then I'm going to cover these little pots and put lids on them. And then I will probably use them for a different project. That's probably the reason why I get little pots. Because I still have to finish my other one. My other tree. I'm going to make it very much like this. I think. That other tree that I was going to do with the little forest maybe. And you know, I've noticed something. I am not painting things in the portrait. I'm painting them this way. But you know, I could paint things this way, but I just never seem to do it. I don't know why. Which is weird because I've got those big canvases and I definitely see myself painting them, you know, in a portrait orientation as opposed to a landscape orientation. But I just haven't done it. And so, I don't know. I need to practice that because I've got those huge canvases and I wanted to paint them, but I'm delaying it. You'll know I'm not delaying it for bad reasons. I'm delaying it because obviously I need to finish other things first. So I don't have time to complete, I don't want to start other projects either before I finish these, because I've got a lot of these to finish. I counted them with you guys, so you saw. And then I've got to, like, you know, I've been finishing them, sealing them, varnishing them, Mod Podging them some, whatever, different things. So that my little jigsaw puzzles will be done. So, there we go. There's my tree. It's not done drying. I think I like it. And if I don't, I'm not going to repaint it. So there's that. I'm going to let it dry. Bye.